Okay, so what's the first thing we do when we start a new SAS session? Libname. We bring the libname in and run the libname. So we have the path done. And remember, you can have as many paths as you want. Suppose if you have data at 2, 3 different locations, you can create path 1, path 2, path 3, and then use them as needed. Okay? So I'm going to run that. So now we have the path and the library set up. So if you go to MGT4260, so here are the data sets we already created from previous runs. Okay, so there is that sales data. That's what we used before. All right, so let's see whether I have the old program. Did I save the program? Probably not. Okay, so that's all right. Okay, so we used modifying data with format, proc format. All right, so I'm going to close this. Right. So let's create a new program. Okay. I'm going to create a format, new proc format, right? So proc format, semicolon, and then I give the name of the format. Okay, so that starts with value. Okay, so previously we did like country format, like CTRYFMT, and that was a text format, so we started with a $sign. So when the name starts with a $sign, so that means it's a text format. Okay, now we want a numeric format, so we don't start with a $sign. We simply say tiers. All right. So say low to 49.99 equal to tier 1. Okay. So this is for salary. Okay. So we want to describe salary instead of in the report, instead of using the actual salaries, we want to simply use only the salary tiers. Okay, so we define a numeric format like this. Low to 49.99 is tier 1. Okay, and then 50,000 to 99,900 is tier 2. Okay, and then 100,000 to high equal to tier 3 and semicolon. Okay, so that defines our format. And then we do a run. So this will create a format for us. So let's just run it, make sure that it runs. And we have to look at the log. Okay, so there is a problem. This is, I have a I had one less 0 there. So here notice that this is a numeric format, and the low describes the smallest value possible. You don't need to know what the smallest value is. And then high represents the highest value, and again you don't need to specify what that highest value is. So now we have the format tiers has been set up. So we have that. Now how do you use that? Okay, so now we're going to use this table, sales table, and sales table has salary in it. So instead of printing the salary in the report, we're going to use the tiers. So that would be proc print, and proc print you have to specify where the data is going to come from. So you say data and specify the name of the data table. Okay, the name of the data table, if it is in the what library, you just simply specify the name of the table. Otherwise you have to specify the library name, period, the name of the table. Okay, so now that specifies where the data is going to come from, and then there are several optional statements that you can include, and one of the minimum that you need is a var statement that describes what are the variables that should be included in the report. And of course for that you should already know what the names of the variables are. Okay, so you should already know what variables you want to print out. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to print the employee ID. So there is this employee ID, job title, so that is there, all right, and then salary. Okay, salary is there. Okay, country, well, it's there, and birth date, hire date. Okay, so birth date, hire date. So these are the columns we want to include. So we just type them. Employee, make sure that there are no typos. Employee ID. Okay, job title, salary, country, birth date, hire. Okay. Okay. Now we could just say run, and if you did that, let's see what happens. Okay, so this is what you get. So you get the employee ID, job title, salary, you get the actual salary, country is the code, AU and US, and the birth date is a number, hire date is a number. Remember, birth date and hire date are what? January, the number 0 is assigned to January 1st, 1960, was it? And then all the other days are incremented by 1 going forward and decremented by 1 going backwards, right? So this is not a good report because this is not formatted properly. So we have to make sure that we include the format statement. Okay, so we say, all right, we want to format birth date space hire date, those two dates, to be in some kind of date format. So there are several possible date formats that we have. We've seen that previously. These are SAS defined formats. So we didn't define any of that. So we can use any one of the date formats. So we will use MONYY7. So that will be like 3-digit or 3-character month plus 4 character, because it is 7, the year will be 4. Okay, so that would be 1. Okay, we are not done yet. Okay, and we're going to do salary as tiers, and that one we define. And once again we have to specify the the name as a format by using the period key. Okay, so now we are done with the statement. So we finish statement with a semicolon. Okay. Now, if we had the country format, we could use that for country. Instead of AU and US, we can have Australia and United States printed out. Okay, so we already did that in the previous demo. So let's run this. So now you see the salary now appears not as a number but as the value label, which tier they are in, and then the birth date and the hire date are in the specified date format.